Hey, Wickets! I'm Sam.
I'm Ariana.
We're the Wicked Sisters.
And you're listening to the Wicked Sisters podcast.
Today we're diving into Japanese horror movies.
Let's get right into it.
Let's do it. So I've been watching a lot of Japanese horror movies, and I had to sit down after the first, couple of them just to refresh my memory. I had to sit down, and I was like, what makes these movies so fucking terrifying?
They're not for the weak-hearted. They're not for the weak, because it's just its own class.
It is. It's in its own class, and I feel like they just tell the stories better. The monsters or the ghosts, they're just better.
Yeah,
they're
terrifying.
Scarier. And so I mean, I have a bunch of favorites. I have Ju-on, we have Ringu, Audition. There's all sorts of. I mean, I could go down a whole list. And just spoiler alert. We are going to be talking a little bit about these movies, and we might, because knowing us, we might spoil something if you haven't seen these movies
yet. We'll put it in the description, what movies we're talking about and stuff, so you could click and look before, so in case you haven't seen them, you can at least warn yourself. If not, I mean, this is free real estate.
Free real estate,
we're just gonna talk.
Yeah, so I just wanna, let's start off with Ju-on. Because it's a classic. It's a classic.
Now, I haven't seen the original Ju-on in forever. I rewatched The Grudge, and I watched One Missed Call.
So Ju-on is the original Grudge. It's called Ju-on the Curse. This woman named Kyoko, and she has an infatuation with a teacher, and she writes about it every day in her journal, how much she loves him, how much she wants to have a life with him, but she has a husband, and she has a kid. And so the husband finds out, and you know what the fuck he does?
He goes apeshit.
Yeah.
He goes absolutely apeshit.
He kills him.
And the cat.
Yeah, why? Why
what the fuck did the cat do?
Exactly.
What did he do? What's he gonna do?
Right.
Is he gonna go meow? Is he gonna go meow to the police?
Exactly. So basically that's the whole synopsis, and when these people enter this home that she had died in, they get automatically cursed. It doesn't matter if you just walk through the front gates or you just happen to touch the doorknob. That's it.
You're over.
That's it. It already has a hold of you, and it doesn't matter if you leave the house because it follows you.
Because I think in Japan, it goes back to that feeling of rage. If someone dies in either jealousy or in rage, that energy stays around.
There.
Yeah. It's not going anywhere.
Right. And one thing about Ju-on that they do so well is you can feel the emotions that everybody's kind of going through.
You can almost hold your breath watching these because it's terrifying.
No, and it's so gruesome. I mean, I was shocked at how gruesome the story was, because Japanese horror movies, they don't go for, I mean, some movies go for the gore factor, but that's not their forte. They kind of like to do suspenseful stuff.
Psychological.
Right. And so
the unknown, the fear of the unknown is what gets you more than in your face pop out scary American movies.
And there's this one scene that I will always remember because it gives me the fucking
spoiler
creeps.
alert.
Yeah,
if you haven't watched this, cut to the just keep going.
Skip forward. It's fine. So there's a part where the husband, he calls one of the guys that had entered into the home. He's one of the teachers for the young boy, but he doesn't know the young boy's dead. So he's just in the home. He's waiting for the family to come back. He gets a call, and it's from the fucking ex-husband. And now the teacher that's in the home, his wife is pregnant at the time. The man goes to his house, kills his wife, and cuts out their baby. I forgot
about that.
and he has the baby in like a bag, but you never see that the baby's in the bag, but you know it's in there because
it's not just a sack of potatoes, it's a baby.
No, and he's in a telephone booth and it's like bloody and he's just talking all creepy and he's like, you know, like, hey, I visited your wife and I just wanted to let you know your baby was a girl or blah blah blah.
Oh,
and like
I just got goosebumps. Can you imagine?
And I remember that scene is like you just feel this dread. You're like your blood just like goes cold because you're just like, oh my god.
Imagine
like,
being in a situation like that. Like, what can you do?
And then the guy, he just falls to the ground because he doesn't know what the fuck to do because he's just like, what do I do?
You can't just like call the police and be like, hey, this is happening.
Right.
Like, it's...
Exactly. And I just remember that scene because later on it cuts to him walking down in like an alleyway or a street and he has the baby in his clutches, like in the bag, and he's hitting it. And you're just like, oh my god, you're like
how was this shit allowed back then?
No,
it wasn't
it was shocking.
It's a little controversial, but it's terrifying. That's the point.
Oh my god, it was one of those scenes that I will never forget. And it was just so gruesome. And it took me aback because I wasn't used to seeing Japanese horror movies that were so like gruesome like that.
And most of them are slow burning. Right. It kind of builds up, but like this one just goes ham as far as horror.
Oh yeah. Like it's slow at the beginning and then it just doesn't stop.
No.
Like it doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
And one thing I want to touch bases about, because I know you said that you watched The Grudge, the American version. So tell us a little bit about the American version.
Okay. So as far as the American Grudge goes, I almost personally I like both of them. Right. I almost like the American's Ghost more.
Really?
The American's Ghost freaks me out more. Yeah. I mean, it's a Japanese woman in the movie, but whoever they cast for the American version, she terrifies me to the core.
No, she's
her
really
and
creepy.
The kid.
Yeah.
Like, they
did a great job at the casting.
They really did. And
for
like
both movies.
Her body mechanics and the way she moves and like the noise, that classic creepy broken neck noise. Yeah. It shakes me to my core. I remember we watched the second Grudge movie back when we were like young. Like Sam was a bad influence on me when I was younger.
Was terrible.
We watched them when I was younger and we watched them downstairs in her house. And there was a scene where like she like cranks her neck and like her body just totally flips. I didn't want to go up the stairs. In my brain, my like kid brain was like, don't go up the stairs, she's gonna be right there waiting for you. Like it's just one of those movies. And like if we can find like an image of what she looks like,
we'll put some right here. Yeah, I'll definitely be putting. I want to put I want to put like a side by side of the Japanese Kyoko and the American Kyoko.
Both are equally creepy.
Right.
Yeah, the American version almost they had to simplify it a little bit just so that we could understand the culture a little bit better without overwhelming us with details, because not many people know about Japanese culture. And so I honestly think they were able to summarize it a little decently.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the cast is great. The woman who plays it's not Velma, it's
Daphne.
Daphne in the Scooby-Doo remake, she's in it. She's the main character.
I think, right? Yeah, she's in both of them. One thing I've noticed about Japanese horror movies versus like the Americanized versions too is like you said, it's a little simplified. And I personally like a little more detail in my opinion. Some people like the simplified versions and that's totally fine. That's great.
I like the simplified versions. I like to get right into it.
Right. See, I like to be enveloped into the story. Like I don't know if you've seen Audition.
No.
But Audition does a very good job at slow pacing, like at the beginning, and trying to give you as much detail about this person's life.
So tell me about Audition. I don't know what Audition is.
So Audition basically is about a like middle-aged man. He's lonely. He lost his wife, and so he's looking for a new partner. And basically, what they end up doing, so he and his friend, they kind of work in like a media studio kind of thing, and they do auditions for like movies and stuff. Well, his friend comes up to me and he's like, yo, why don't we do an audition, you know, like make these girls think that they're auditioning for a movie, but they're actually auditioning to be your wife or your girlfriend, which is fucked up Okay, I know. All right, don't look at me like that.
Basically the Tinder of that day, but just in person.
Right. And but the thing is that the way that they go about it is not malicious.
I'm enveloped.
He's not a malicious person. He was legit trying to find a soulmate. And so they have these auditions, and of course he finds the one beautiful, perfect, like, girl. But come to find out, she is a fucking devil. And
aren't we all? Once you get to know them a little bit more.
No, but this girl's on a whole nother level. Let's just say.
To explain.
I'm not going to spoil it because the last 15 minutes of the movie is probably it's just like, it's crazy. Because all this time, it leads up to this moment, the last 15 minutes, and it just goes ham. Like, they don't fucking give a shit. I'm gonna have to
put that on my list.
Yeah.
The movies I watch next.
Oh my god.
During the day.
A must watch. It is absolutely, it's great. It's one of those movies that you gotta watch.
Was there, like, that shock factor? Or, like, is it more psychological?
So it's more psychological. The last 15 minutes are the shock factor.
Okay.
And it's just like, it's one of those things. Now, me being like a gore person, it didn't bother me at all. I honestly wanted more.
That tells you a lot about her, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh no, it says a lot.
Yeah. With Japanese horror movies, they don't necessarily use a lot of gore sometimes.
No,
sometimes
but let me
they
tell
use
you. In audition,
we were just talking about fetuses in a bag, and now we're like, they don't use that much gore.
And the thing is that when they do, it's fucking phenomenal. It's like great. It's
grand.
It's great. I know. You see how I'm talking about this? I'm talking about fucking blood and guts. Like,
this is great. The serotonin's just climbing.
And so like, yeah, when they go into it and they want to use that gore and that scare factor, dude,
they're gonna
go
use it.
Fucking ham. And it's just, like, I'm thinking about it now, the scenes and stuff, it's just fucking crazy. It's one of those movies you definitely gotta see. Definitely.
Yeah.
So, you watched One Missed Call. Did you not?
Oh, my gosh. All right. One of my favorite early 2000s horror movies. One of my favorites. I can just hear the ringtone now. And if we can insert, like, the sound... That would be great. Look it up if you can't.
I'm gonna show you the Japanese ringtone and then the American ringtone, just so you can see like a difference between the two. Both very creepy. Both terrifying.
So yeah, One Missed Call is basically this girl at a party gets a call, and it's she gets a ringtone. It's not her ringtone, and she opens her little flip phone, and what does she hear? She hears how she's gonna die. The voicemail reads 2 days into the future.
Yeah,
that's the terrifying part. She's like, I've never this message is 2 days from the future. She listens to it. She hears her own screams. And basically, it's like someone is getting a curse, and like it just continues on, almost like chainmail. Like you remember back in the day where it's like, if you don't send this email, someone's gonna come up the stairs. Yeah. That's basically what it is, but with cell phones. And these people die some pretty fucked up deaths. It's almost like Final Destination kind of style deaths, where it's just out of nowhere, uncanny, like wrong place, wrong time. But the thing is, like, they hear themselves, like, die. My ass wouldn't leave the house.
No, I wouldn't leave.
My ass would not leave the house.
What is the thing gonna do? Like, the you know, like, I guess... I don't know, death? Or I don't know what that, like, thing is.
It's like
an entity. It's like a force.
It's not even like a specific person or a specific ghost. It's just...
like, it's a force. It's just a being, like an entity.
A bean.
A bean. It's a bean.
It's a bean. An energy bean.
And yeah, like, one thing they do really good...
And I'm talking about the American version. I don't know if I said that already. But.
Yeah, and in the Japanese version, it's still the same thing. It's like you said, it's like the chain, it goes... So basically, when someone dies, after they've listened to themselves, you know, like they hear the phone ring, they
it's
answer
whoever's
it,
in that person's contacts.
it goes to the next
so like
one.
I remember, here's a spoiler alert, I remember a scene where like this girl, like she knew she was gonna die in 2 days, and she's going about her life rather normally,
Right.
and she's in college, and all of her friends come up to her and they're like, I want to delete my name from your phone just so that they don't like die. But I don't think that's how it works. If death wants you, it's gonna get you.
Right.
It's gonna get you no matter whether you delete it or not. But like, how fucked up is that?
Yeah. No, it's a really like, it's a really fucked up movie.
And it's it's classic like 2000s horror,
right,
with creepy people. I mean, like the monsters that they use, because they chose like almost puppet like makeup and SFX and stuff like that.
Right.
It's just eerie.
It is. And the Japanese one is fucking creepy, and the ringtone, I hate it. I hate it. It fucking creeps me out. And there's just so many good things about Japanese horror movies. I mean,
even like comics and stuff too.
Right, yeah. They do.
Like, what is it? There's this one.
We got Junji Ito.
Yeah. What more can you say about that? It's classic. You see all this stuff in Hot Topic nowadays,
and they've made it into a TV series now too.
I've watched that TV series.
Is it good?
I love it. Now I've scrolled on like the internet, and like I've read the comics and stuff. I've like purchased some of the like manga or manga, however you describe it. I like the show. The show, the graphics are great. The stories are well told. You got the classics. You've got, you know, Tomy, stuff like that. It's terrifying. And the song is great. The theme song that they use is great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a bop.
See, I haven't seen it, but I know a lot about Junji Ito because he's one of my favorite horror artists, and I love his style. I absolutely love his style. And it's just we'll
probably do a whole episode just on Junji Ito in the future, because there's a lot in just this man and what he's created. More
than likely. And it's just, there's something about his artwork that he captures this sense of dread and this sense of just like
psychosis,
despair, and you just like, when you see some of these characters that he draws, you're just like, how the fuck does someone come up with this?
Like, I would hate to know what his nightmares are like.
Oh my god.
I would hate to know what he dreams about.
I'm telling you, because there is some scary shit, and we'll post some stuff if you don't know who Junji Ito is. He is my absolute favorite. And just, you know, we're just talking a little bit about that, but I wanted to kind of go over real quick because we are getting a little close to our like cutoff time. I just want to know, what are some of your favorites? Like, I mean, what really gets under your skin?
As far as movies, or as far as just like, in Japanese in general?
So, Japanese horror movies specifically. Like, what really gets under your skin?
Well, I mean, as far as like, I guess I'll circle back to like The Grudge, because it's just like the body mechanics are terrifying. It's the mood, it just shifts. Everything shifts. It goes from kind of like, oh, okay, eerie, to just, I don't want to watch this anymore.
Right.
I'm genuinely terrified. I'm gonna take this DVD and I'm gonna bury it in the basement. Like, I'm not gonna watch it anymore.
Right.
And it just,
it's something about it is just very unsettling. And like, one of my favorites would definitely have to be, I mean, don't get me wrong, Ju-on is very good. There's so many. I would have to say one of my favorites would probably be Pulse.
Okay, I haven't seen Pulse.
Pulse is, where do I even begin? Pulse is fucking, it's weird. It's a weird horror movie, and it's a different style. It's very, I don't know, like, I feel like a lot of people watching it, if you're not into Japanese horror movies, you might not like it. But
is it based in Japan, or is it?
It is, yeah, it's based in Japan. Basically this, like, outbreak happens where it's like through the internet, it's like a virus basically. And so say like if we were on the computer and we happened to go to this website where you can meet a real life ghost, and it's like a portal basically, And when you go onto this website, you're basically inviting these like ghosts to come back into our real world.
Now I think I remember. Did we watch that like a long time ago?
Now the one that I'm talking about the Japanese one, and I think it's called Kairo, either Kairo or Kiro.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fucking terrifying. And the reason why it's so terrifying is because they never use loud sounds. They never use jump scares to scare you. It's all very quiet, and like you see the ghosts, and they're very normal looking.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like people, but they have no expression, and it's just like their movements are different. They're not like ours, and you can tell that they're not real people. It's just, it gets under your skin. Like, there's this one scene.
See, that sounds to me like Dead Alive. Do you remember the movie Dead Alive? Wait,
yeah.
Is that the movie?
Dead Alive? Dead Alive or Stay Alive?
Stay Alive. Is that the one with the video game?
Yeah, that's the one with the video game.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, that's what I was like, Dead Alive. That doesn't even make sense. Dead Alive. Yeah, that reminds me of the Stay Alive. At least, like, the synopsis of it kind of sounds similar to, like, where it's, like, online technology kind of coming back at you.
Yeah, and so basically with this thing, it's more of, like, a virus that goes around, and you can tell when the person has the virus because their whole personality changes. They're not the same person.
Fuck that.
They start to act differently, like very weird and like suicidal kind of. And so one thing I love about Pulse, like I said, is that they never jump scare you. It's all
and that's
very it's very unsettling.
Yeah. It's a big trend with Japanese movies too, is that they don't use that in your face horror sometimes. Sometimes it's more taken back, psychological, makes you think.
I love that because those are the movies that keep me up at night. Not the ones that are just out in your face, that jump scare you. It's the ones that kind of slowly creep up on you. Like there's this scene in Pulse that I will never forget because it's so fucking creepy. Yes, and I'll kind of like post like a little video or something. But basically, this guy, he goes into this room where it's like the ghost room, and these ghost rooms, they're like red doors, and they have tape and stuff on them, and it's to keep the spirits like in. And he goes and he opens it, and he goes inside, and it's like, so he gets inside the room, he's like in the room, and everything's fine. I mean, it's like dark, gritty, you know. He's about to leave, he turns around, and there's a woman standing, like, in the shadows, but you can't, like, she almost doesn't look like part of the, like, it's just, I don't know, like, the way that they...
I'm gonna have to look this up, because I have no idea.
The way that they film this is, like, incredible, because she looks like she's part of the wall, and then she comes out, and you're like, oh shit, that's a person. Like, there's someone standing there.
Fuck that.
And she comes out, and she does, like, this weird fucking, like, dip movement. And dude, it's fucking creepy. And this entire time, there's no music. There's no sounds. It's quiet.
Fuck that.
And she's just coming towards you. And it's quiet. And then he finally, like, he snaps out of it, and he's like, oh shit, like, I'm in danger. And he runs, yeah, like, because he was so scared. Like, I mean, anybody would be like,
probably
what
frozen
the fuck?
In place.
Yeah. So he finally, like, as she's moving closer to him, he finally, like, snaps out of it, and he hides behind a sofa. And he's, like, creeped down, and he's looking down, and this whole time, you're like, oh my god, this fucking bitch is gonna come out, she's gonna be, like, right in his face.
So there's just, like, a random sofa in a room?
Well, it was, like, yeah, so he was, like, in, like, someone's bedroom, almost. There was, like, a sofa and, like, stuff, and he jumps over the sofa, he's hiding, and you see his point of view where he's looking underneath the sofa, and you never see the woman, you never see her feet, you never see anything. And then you see these hands come up from behind come up from, like, the sofa, and she's just staring at him, and there's still no fucking music, and there's, like, nothing, it's just calm.
Fuck that. And that is,
And
I've noticed
fucking
this. I've
unsettling.
noticed
I
that
hate
trend
it.
with like Japanese movies is that they use like hands as like a form of like a creep factor, like
Yeah,
just like bony,
hands,
creepy hands,
the hands,
like pale, like
and
long, awkwardly moving body parts that
Right.
like just don't seem natural, almost
Right.
like bone breaking.
and hair too. Hair's
Yeah.
a huge
Long-
factor. Yeah, in like
long hair. It's a big trend, like with The Ring, Ju-on,
Yeah,
The Grudge, Tales of Terror from Tokyo. You see
Yep.
a lot of ghosts with long black hair.
Right.
Which
I'm telling you, some of the best like movie moments are from Japanese horror movies. I'm telling you, they're just like they're a classic.
they knock it out of the park. They really do. Mhm.
And I know we kind of like jumped around to like different movies and stuff. We're just like, you know,
There's
just,
so much to talk about that it's hard to just stay on one because there's so many
Right.
different factors
There's-
and there's just something to love about each and every one. It whether you're a gore person or
Right.
someone who
or
likes
a
something
psychological person.
yeah, you're gonna find something in there
for everybody. Yeah, there's like a whole list, and we'll put a list down, probably like maybe in between us or like at the
in
end,
the description,
just so that you guys can maybe follow and watch some of these. They're very, very good. We really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, we're getting close to our wrap up time, and yeah, so just let us know down below if you've seen Japanese horror movies. What are some of your favorites, and why you think that they're so scary? I mean, what makes them scary?
Even like recommend us movies because like
Yeah,
there's like
that
some
too.
movies we might not have even seen, so we would
Absolutely.
love to take a dip in that pond.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, Wickeds, we are done for today. I think next week we're probably gonna go over some Goosebumps.
Oh, I'm so excited!
Yeah,
oh, that's
I
our
think-
childhood,
oh,
dude.
yeah.
That's our childhood.
Oh yeah, so I think we're gonna go into that. So get ready for that one. It's gonna be fun. Yeah. All right, Wickeds. Bye.
Bye.